What's up, guys? We're back for a UFC Brooklyn recap. I was at the fights, a really exciting event. The crowd was pretty damn loud. It was pretty packed out, filled up to the brim. Great first show for ESPN, and I thought really the star of the night was Cowboy Cerrone. Man, what a fucking win! With that press conference with Alex Hernandez talking all that shit, kind of trying to write him off as the old man, and he's gonna come in and take all that he's earned and make his way up the ranks and kind of make a name off of him, off of Donald Cerrone. But man, he looks sharper than ever, coming back down to 155. Which was obviously of question. He mentioned the weight cut is tough to 55. It always sucks, but I don't think he's like crazy big for the weight class. I just think he's a lean guy, and it's just hard to lose those last 4 or 5 pounds. He says, but he looked amazing. Slowed down the fight, used his range. I thought those knees in the clinch were very precise and very sharp at where he was aiming for the knees and how he was timing those knees and then landing elbows. And he does a lot of same side stuff, so he'll throw like a right knee and then a right elbow. It's very like Muay Thai style, but not a lot of MMA guys strike like that these days. I feel like a lot of guys mix it up with more movement, but Cerrone has that style down, and he snaps up those head kicks fast, man. You got to watch out for that shit. The one that he landed on Hernandez, it looked like he blocked it, but it just crashed his hand and it hit his equilibrium, and he was all out of sorts there. But followed him up on the ground, hit him with those precise right hands. Boom, boom, boom. Came at him, landed like 6 or 7 right hands on right on the jaw, and that was it for Hernandez. So that was really impressive for Donald Cerrone. He called out Conor at the end of the fight. I'd like to see him get it. Donald Cerrone's a guy who will fight anybody. Look, he's fighting an up-and-coming guy who's dangerous, who's young, who doesn't have a big name behind him yet, but Donald Cerrone's like, yeah, I'll take it. Fuck it. There's a lot to be said about that. That's the real fighter right there. That's the real warrior that people, it's taken for granted in the sport these days. A lot of people upset about the stoppage with the Dillashaw and Cejudo fight, and to be honest, it's hard to say. Like, as far as safety for the fighters and the referee doing his job looking out for the fighter, you can't blame the ref. Dillashaw was obviously rocked. He was getting caught by a lot of shots at once. Henry was really, really aggressive early on. And it looked like it was only going to get worse from there. But I will say that TJ was with it enough to still follow Henry and try to fight out of it and recover. He wasn't laying down and not defending at all. He wasn't turned over on all fours and turtled up and my bad. And he wasn't quitting. He was trying to make his way out of there. He was trying to reach for a leg. He was following Henry. Even when the ref stepped in, it looked like TJ was aware of where Henry was, reaching for that leg, and where the ref was behind him trying to grab him. So it was like, I feel for him. Champion versus champion, super fight. The guy loses out on that opportunity. It sucks. And it's shitty to see that could be stolen from you like that by a ref. And I know he's just doing his job, but it's unfortunate. A lot of money on the line, a lot of stakes. This is not just taking a half a guy's paycheck. TJ gets compensated well for being a champion as he deserves, but to become double champ is a legacy thing. That's a history thing, and you don't get many chances at that. So I feel for him to get that kind of taken away from him. But it is what it is. Henry was putting it on him really early, which I was surprised at how aggressive he was right off the get-go, man. That guy was in his face. Threw a solid body kick that caught him. Then he threw a nice head kick, and then he was on him with the punches. I think he caught him with when TJ's head was down, he came underneath like that and caught him right on the jaw with like a hook. And that's where you saw TJ kind of wobble more. So I was like, all right, like he's definitely hurt, but he's still moving. So, I would have liked to see the fight play out a little bit. give TJ a chance to recover and kind of see what he could go on from there, and see if the fight could play out. You know, it would have been nice to see who really was the best, you know, at that weight. Other than that, we saw Bermudez retired. That was a touching moment, you know, emotional after the fight, you know, mentioning his uncle with cancer, and you know, prayers go out to him. I hope he's doing well and he gets through it just like Bermudez did, you know, showing that you can go through adversity, lose 4 fights, which a lot of those fights were controversial losses, which is terrible because the guy puts work in, man. He's a hustler. He's in there, you know, leaving it all on the line every fight, and then you got these judges stealing half his paychecks, you know, and stealing wins from him because, you know, a lot of those fights could have went his way. I really feel like, you know, he was the aggressor, and I don't know what these judges see sometimes, but they gave the other guy the decisions, and he's on a 4-fight losing streak because of it, fighting for his job essentially. And you know, he got a good win. He went out on top, which was beautiful to see, and yeah, he had a really good performance. Got rocked early on. It overcame that and put it on Tay Edwards and looked really good in the wrestling realm and pressure and all that stuff. So hats off to Bermudez on a great career. You know, he beat Max Holloway. I know it was a while ago, but he has that on his resume, and that's big. So congrats to him. And then you got the best fisherman in MMA, baby, wheeling and fucking dealing all these fishes. He's got trout. He's got fucking salmon. He's got wild fucking tilapia. He's got all of them. And he's throwing the bait, and they're biting that shit. Gregor Gillespie's a savage, man. His pressure is unreal. His wrestling is relentless. The guy will not stop. He will keep taking you down. You can get up. You can get up. You can get up. It's okay. He doesn't give up. He doesn't slow down. He's going to keep putting you on your ass, and he's going to keep making you feel like you're fucking drowning in there. And eventually he's going to find his finish, like he said, and he does. You know, people were booing, but I don't know. That was a really tactical fight. Yancey, you know, showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of technique, and he was really wiggly and scrambly at getting back up to his feet and trying to, you know, stop Gregor's wrestling. And it's just a tough task, man. That guy shoots power doubles, sets up his shots really well with his strikes because he has crisp boxing. And I really want to see him tested. You know, I really want to see him get a big fight next fight. You know, Yancey was a good test coming down from 170. But Gregor did the same thing to him he does to everyone. And that says a lot when people know what you're going to do, but you still do it to them. So hats off to him, too. I really would like to see Gregor versus Khabib in the future. I think that's a wrestling standout fight right there. 2 different styles of wrestling, but nonetheless, 2 of the best wrestlers in the division, and I really like to see how that fight would play out. Maybe later on in the future, maybe 3 more fights for Gregor, but let's see him fight a top 10, you know, top 10, top 5 guy next. I really think he's ready for that test, and I'm really excited to see him get a little bit more tested in these fights. You know, he's shown, you know, durability and overcoming adversity as far as getting caught on the feet and persevering and taking you down and mauling you on the ground. Really good positional jiu-jitsu. He gets you in that, he takes your back, flattens you out, gets the cross hooks underneath you and lands that ground and pound, and he's relentless with it. If he's on top, he's passing guard, he's setting up arm triangles, and it's all, you know, he never stops trying. He never gets bothered by 1 failure, 2 failures, 3 failures. He's going to get it. On the 5th or 6th try, the guy's going to get it. And that's something you can't teach, and he has that in him, and he just keeps on coming, and guys can't take that kind of pressure. You know, eventually guys are going to fold. Oh, I defended his takedown. Oh, I defended the choke. It doesn't matter. A guy's going to keep coming at you with that aggression, and you got to be able to defend it and give your own for 15, 25 minutes, whatever it is. Another good win for Gregor. Deviated septum, so I'm fucking sniffling out the gate. You see the faces. Cheers. What else do we got? Paige Vanzant made a good comeback against Rachel. She's had to overcome a lot, Rachel, you know, prior to this fight. Hats off to her for making it to the fight and getting through it and standing up for, you know, empowering other women. And showing that you can get through things and persevere and still make it through. And that was good to see. But unfortunate loss. Might have broke the arm. We don't know yet. Maybe hyperextended it. But beautiful armbar by Paige. She was taking some shots early on, some good overhand rights to takedowns, and it looked like Rachel was doing really well, but then Paige overcame that, scrambles out of it, and started doing better as the fight went on, and caught that armbar, and that was really nice setup. And the ref didn't even see it. He stepped in late. Like, Paige almost ended the fight because she was like, fuck it, I'm going to break her arm. She tapped, I'm letting go, I'm good. So she let go and the fight was over. Little bit of a runny nose today. Sorry, folks, but it happens. It happens. Co-main event. What could you say? Greg Hardy, looking like an amateur, pretty much, because that's how it is. A lot of heavyweights have power. He has power, of course, but you see him, have to deal with the wrestling, getting taken down. Not much jiu-jitsu game. Kind of lost on his back. And that fight really didn't look great for the UFC or for him, but Alan Crowder, thank you for winning me some fucking money on the DQ win right there. I thought that was kind of funny how you win a bet via DQ, but that's how it went down. Illegal knee, guy's down on a knee, and Hardy throws the knee. It's unfortunate. Who's to know? Mistake on purpose. People judge him because obviously he's had a sketchy past. So, people are going to look and say, well, he wanted a way out. He did it on purpose. That's his intentions, because the guy does have a fucking death stare and a death smile. There's something weird about it. I don't know, something in his eyes. But hey, nonetheless, DQ win for Alan Crowder. Hey, it makes his name blow up because of Greg Hardy's name already being big and all the all the investing that the UFC's done in him. But shitty fight to be put on the main card on the first ESPN show. You got to put guys who have earned it, guys who are really true high level, top of the tier UFC athletes that deserve that slot more than Greg Hardy. So. Kind of weird seeing that, but it is what it is. It all played out the way it should, I guess. But yeah, let's get into a couple of fan questions we have here. Let's see what some of the fans had to say. How from BST MMA Fanatic. How long will Justin Gaethje last against the king of leg kicks, Edson Barboza? Man, Justin Gaethje's got some fucking crazy good leg kicks too. They both have hard leg kicks, but I'll give the leg kick game to Barboza over anybody, or any kick game for that matter. But that's going to be a crazy fight because we saw in Barboza's last fight, the guy just puts it on you, man. Vicious Muay Thai, and he breaks you. But Gaethje's not a guy to break, so I think he's gonna bring some of those leg kicks himself. And we've seen it. We've seen in some of Barboza's fights where if you put the pressure on him, there's a way to break him, but you have to keep that pressure on him. You have to weather the storm. And I think Gaethje's a good guy for that. I think he's going to keep that forward pressure. You can't give Edson Barboza space. You can't let the guy get comfortable. You can't let him fight in his range where he's able to throw these kicks and land kicks over and over to the body, to the legs, to the head. You got to get in the guy's face. You got to... The thing is the best way to fight him is to make him grapple, get his arms tired, let the lactic acid build up, and then try to tire him out and finish him from there. But yeah, looking forward to that fight. What else we got? From BUNDT, Big Bunt. How come Pettis is fighting Wonderboy at 170? He fought Max at 145 2 years ago. Now he's jumping to 170. It seems like he's going to retire after this one like Bermudez did, jumping up for his last fight. I'll tell you right now, this ain't a good fight to pick for a retirement fight. If you think you're gonna get out easy on Wonderboy, he's a big 170 pounder. Pettis isn't a small guy. He weighs like 190 or something, he says, but having made 145, having been at 155, it's a smaller frame. You're fighting smaller guys. It's gonna be a different feeling there. You know, fighting a guy at 170. And Wonderboy is one of the highest level strikers in the game. Not to say Pettis isn't, but the guy's kickboxing accolades are second to none. And, you know, Ferguson was able to deal with Pettis' striking. And I know he's funky and everything, but, you know, Wonderboy's going to have the reach advantage, the size advantage, probably even the, you know, the power advantage. Maybe not the speed advantage, but everything else is really to his advantage. So, you know, we've seen good wrestlers have trouble taking Wonderboy down. Obviously, this fight's probably not going to the ground, which Pettis might have the jiu-jitsu advantage, but fight's most likely going to stay standing, and I give the big edge to Wonderboy here. I think he's going to get the job done TKO. First or second round. This guy's asking for tickets. Come on, man. Family hardly gets tickets. What do you think of Cejudo overtaking Woodley on the pound-for-pound rankings? This is from CP Rafferty. Raffo tweets. I didn't see that. I don't know who's making these pound-for-pound rankings. And to me, pound-for-pound means that you're able to beat guys at multiple weight classes at the highest level. And I don't think Cejudo's done that. I mean, he's fighting at 125. Yeah, he's a champion. That's great. Yeah, he defended his belt once so far. I don't think that gives you the leadway on pound for pound. You know, I think pound for pound is, have you become a champ? Have you beat the top guys at those two different weight classes? You know, DC is the real pound for pound guy. He's undefeated at heavyweight, and he's done so well at both heavyweight and light heavyweight. He's a champion in both weight classes. Now, I know, obviously, John Jones, there's an asterisk there, but pound for pound's controversial, so it's hard to say. Let's see if Cejudo could go up and beat Dillashaw at 135, and then we could talk pound for pound with Cejudo. Man, this nose just doesn't stop today. You get that weird thing where it, like, drips in your throat and it, like, fucks with your breathing. Drippy, 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 drip, drip. Fuck. Justin, Minnesota. McGregor versus Cerrone does under or over 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. That really depends on what the rest of the card looks like. Obviously, with McGregor on it, it's almost guaranteed $1 million. So I'm going to go ahead and say over, especially if they do this in Ireland. I mean, I don't know. I guess where they do it doesn't really matter when it comes to pay-per-view. I think they're going to do it in Ireland because that's going to be a crazy scene over there. And I think McGregor really needs a big win right now. And this is a good matchup for him, but a tough matchup. I'm going to go ahead and say over at 1.5. I'll go with 1.7. That would be my guess. Clay Fitzgerald, do you rap for fun or would you like it to take off? I really rap for fun. I write a lot. I have a ton of writing. What I need to find is a legit engineer and a legit studio to start making full songs. I would love to do that. I think I'm going to start working more on that, taking that more seriously. It's just a lot of time consumption. You know, I'm training twice a day. Got to deal with the recovery. Got to deal with the meal times and the meal prep and all that stuff. So music is something I would love to pursue more seriously. Get in the studio, make some an album or a mixtape and put it out there to the world while I have this platform fighting for the UFC. So any engineers out there, any people with legit studios or you know, people who can what's the word, like you know, master the songs and make it sound, you know, at its best, hit me up, baby. Boom. Was I surprised that Dillashaw was getting finished like that by David McGrath? Not really. I mean, I thought Henry Cejudo was going to look really good at 25. He's big, he's strong, he's healthy. He's been down there many a times now. He beat DJ. And he's got ultra confidence. After that DJ fight, his confidence boost went like skyrocketed. You could tell by the way he's acting. So I wasn't surprised necessarily. I was more surprised at the pace and the intensity he brought right off the get-go in round one in a 5-round fight. That surprised me a little bit. I did think that the weight cut for TJ was going to play some kind of role. You know, obviously the fluids in the brain have to be right. He looked good during the weight cut. Good energy, good pop in his punches. I thought he looked good. As far as watching him going through the weight cut, I thought it's not much of a factor. But who's to say what variables it played out? I think obviously he didn't take that shot that great, you know, in the back of the head, on the side of the head, the equilibrium. Not many people can take hard shots there. So, you know, who's to say if that played a role? But I wasn't really too surprised. I thought the fight was fairly evenly matched. I thought TJ was a little bit more well-rounded, especially in the striking area. And, man, Henry hits hard. He has power. You know, he's got that karate style now, and he's pretty precise with his punches. And if he lands a right hand on you, we see what happens. That's it for the fan questions. Now, let's see what we got for some upcoming fights. Ooh, Yoel Romero and fucking Paulo Costa, man. That's crazy right there. That excites me because that's two guys that look like they're fucking demons in there that you can't break, you can't stop. I really want to see Yoel Romero versus John Jones eventually. Like I said, I just feel like that's a guy who could really test him, really bring it to Jones. Olympic level wrestler. It's crazy. But Paulo Costa, this is a beautiful test for him. He's looked great as of late. He took out Uriah Hall in that last fight. And Yoel Romero's a demon in there, man. You hit the guy and it seems like it hurts you when you hit him. So both really big guys for the weight class. You know, it's the fight of the century of fucking picograms. You know what I mean? Who's the picogram king in this fight? No, I'm just fucking around, but I'm gonna give the edge to Yoel. I think he's gonna exploit Paulo's wrestling defense in this fight. And on the feet, it's pretty close, evenly matched, but I gotta go with Yoel, man. But this fight is fucking exciting. I can't wait to see this. April 27th, UFC Miami, baby. Cubans all day. What else we got here? We got we got a flyweight fight. Jussier Formiga versus Davison Figueiredo, who looks like a fucking king at flyweight as of late. I think that's a good guy to give Henry Cejudo a test at flyweight if the division stays. Davison Figueiredo has looked like a killer, man. Big for the weight class, but obviously Jussier is a high level jiu-jitsu guy. He's looked better in the striking realm as well as of late. But I got to go with Davison Figueiredo in this fight. I think he's going to get that TKO eventually, probably later on in the third round. And then I'd like to see him challenge Henry if the division stays. That'd be great. Jorge Masvidal, Darren Till set for UFC London, March 16th. Darren Till obviously really big for the weight class. I think he really needs to get a win right now after that last fight against Woodley. Kind of got schooled, was very hesitant. Woodley hit him with some power, got him down on the ground, and kind of made him look amateur on the ground, which Woodley's fucking tears through everyone, so that's just how it is. But Masvidal's like the Miami Diaz brother, and he's got that confidence in there, likes to talk to you during the fight, which I like. It's very exciting to see. I think this is going to be a really exciting striking matchup. Masvidal's got a lot of trickery in there. He's a weird style to fight, hard to keep up with, to know what's coming at you with him. And Till's obviously going to have a little bit of a size advantage and the power advantage, I feel. But Till's striking is less multi-dimensional. I feel like he's just looking for that left hand. He's looking to close the distance with the elbows and the left hand. And Masvidal is going to throw a little bit more volume at you with the kicks, strikes, and mixing everything up together. Look forward to that fight. Yeah. That's it. That's it for now. We got Dodson. Dodson versus Peter Yan, man. That fucking Peter Yan kid's looking like a savage at 135. I gotta admit, I was pretty surprised at how easily he ran through Douglas Silva Andrade. I thought that was going to be a more competitive match, but this guy ran through him, cut him open on the ground with the elbows, and the corner stopped the fight. So I'm excited to see him fight Dodson. I think it's a step up in competition. Dodson's a really hard guy to fight with how fucking fast he is and how jittery he is in there. He's very evasive. He kind of runs a little bit, and I think Peter Yan's gonna have to really, really bring the fight to him and put it on him and stay on him and not let off the gas, because Dodson's gonna be running around, moving around. He's gonna be in and out with that lightning speed left hand, and it's hard to fight that guy, man. So. But if anybody's gonna get a fucking hold of him and put it on him with aggression and solid Muay Thai, it's gonna be Peter Yan. So we'll see if he can get a hold of him in that fight, land something big, and try to take out Dodson. Alright, so that's pretty much it for some upcoming fights that I'm looking forward to. That's the fucking boom recap for UFC Brooklyn. We went over some fan questions, some upcoming fights that I'm looking forward to. I'm sorry about the runny nose. I'm sniffling like a motherfucker. I can't breathe right now. My head's pounding. But what are you going to do about it? You got to be a champ no matter what. Champ! I'll see you guys next time. Boom.